Hey guys, my name is Attorney Walter, if not the third. My apologies, we are a little bit late. I have missed over 17 phone calls since we are starting at 8:18 as opposed to 8, so my apologies. Let's go into this real quick. Disability resolution, that is the law firm that I work at from 9 to 5 and then later at night. However, today I was coding just before the show for 2 hours and 45 minutes at spaceconstitution.com, the first open source constitution, which I think and I hope will be released in April, which is amazing. So I'm really, really excited about that particular news. Now, with that said, I've missed 17 phone calls so far to go ahead and answer questions. There is the phone number. Howdy, Dennis. Let's get right to the phone calls because people are waiting for me to go ahead and communicate with them. Now, let me know, guys. Can you hear me okay? Is everything working? Is the camera working? It looks good on this end. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check it out. I'm just going to go ahead and connect to this phone call. It's coming in right now. Excellent. Okay, 1 second. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot with Disability Resolution PA. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use your fake name for this. And would you like me to answer a specific question or run hearing questions with you? Howdy, howdy, good sir. Are you there?
All right. Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect, perfect. Would you like me to answer a specific question or run hearing questions with you?
I wanted to run hearing questions.
Perfect, good sir. All right, what is your fake name for the hearing questions?
Carlos.
Carlos, I love the name. When is your actual hearing?
Next Monday.
That is around the corner. All right. Are you getting a little bit nervous at this point?
Oh, man, I watched probably 50 of your videos over the last, 6 weeks. So,
Good.
yeah.
Good. Good, sir. Would you like me to be aggressive with you? Would you like me to take it easy on you? What would you like?
I need you to be aggressive because the ALJ I got is probably one of the hardest in the country.
What's his percent passage rate?
Like 18%.
Oh, it's going to be a fun one. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good, sir. Go ahead and state your full fake name for the record.
Carlos Dunlap Fernandez IV.
Date of birth and current age.
June 14th, 1990.
Okay. So you're a younger individual. How old are you currently?
My real age?
Well, yeah, that's fine. We don't know who you are, so yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm 32.
32 years old. Excellent. Good. So let me ask you this. What are your top 5 most severe impairments?
My top 5 would be Ptsd, traumatic brain injury, migraines, lower back pain, and anxiety/depression.
Okay, anxiety, depression. We've got some other issues. What happened with the traumatic brain injury? Can you walk me through that?
Actually, you know what? Let me throw in schizoaffective because that actually kind of has been brought on recently. I think it's always been there, but sometimes they throw other things out and then they eventually get to giving you a diagnosis that they probably should have gave you years before.
All right, let's do this. Let's clean that up a little bit. What are your top 5 most severe impairments?
All right, so we'll go with PTSD, schizoaffective disorder, traumatic brain injury, sleep apnea, and migraines.
Okay. What happened to the depression and the anxiety?
Well, I mean, they're in there too, but I got a lot of things. I got like 16 things.
All right, let's try it again.
So
Let's clean it up a little bit. This is what you gave me originally. PTSD, schizo. We got number 3, TBI. We got sleep apnea. We got migraines. What are your top 5 most severe impairments? Let's get it clean this time.
Okay. PTSD, traumatic brain injury, schizoaffective disorder, sleep apnea, and actually, let's do the last one will be lower back pain. We'll go with lower back pain.
Okay. Excellent. Good, sir. Let me ask you this. Out of all of these, which is the most severe?
Currently, it's a combination of the lower back and schizoaffective.
Okay. Out of the lower back and the schizoaffective, which is the most severe?
Schizoaffective.
Excellent, good sir. Can you tell me why is it more severe?
I've been dealing with the other issues for probably the last 10 years, and it has been an up and down battle, but definitely the mental issues are the most challenging to overcome. I think dealing with pain, you deal with it, but you understand it's probably not really going to get much better. Whereas the mental side of it, it shuts you down to where you're not really able to function the way you normally would in society, whether it's working or interacting with your kids or interacting with family or friends.
What was the last job that you had that was a serious career? Nope, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what was the last job that you had that was a serious career?
I was in the military. I did a couple of deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan as well, combat tours.
Okay. Have you already applied for VA benefits?
Yes, I'm 100% permanent in total.
Okay. And when did you receive that?
I received 100% permanent total, effective of 2019. It was, I believe, October 2019.
Okay. Walk me through this. What is your amended alleged onset date or your alleged onset date?
My alleged onset date is March of 2018. Actually, March of 2019, I believe.
Okay, why is that?
Basically, I got injured at work, and when I got injured at work, it caused me to go through different treatments for the injury at work. But what ended up happening is because I was no longer working, I was spent much more time at home, and my home life became pretty it was very severe. Like, I was arguing a lot more. I was very moody, very disoriented. I started shutting down in a lot of ways, not really being my normal self. And, dealing with the pain caused me to kind of spiral into a depression, a severe anxiety. I had it all along, but I felt like I was managing it. But at this point, not working and not getting out of the house, I just felt a lot of these problems resurfaced, and it came back much more pronounced than it had previously.
Okay. All right, you got to clean that up a little bit, but the bottom line is this. The judge may want to choose, when they chose the VA 100% VPAT as the actual date as your alleged onset date. So just kind of work with your attorney on. Did you already go over that with your attorney?
I've spoke with my attorney one time for about 30 minutes. They're supposed to be giving me a call tomorrow, but I watched a lot of your videos, and I like your style. I like how you ask questions, and you're very knowledgeable.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you, good sir. Let me out. All right, I'm going to get a little tough on you. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you have any difficulty with cooking, cleaning, laundry, or paying bills?
I do.
Okay, great. Let's go on to the next question. When it comes to your, difficulties, can you tell me, do you have any environmental restrictions, such as, being in the environment with heat, cold, dust, loud sounds, bright lights, things like that?
I do. My PTSD a lot of times kicks in. Because of my combat tours and the things that I was exposed to, I really don't like to be out in public, especially in environments that have, people that I don't know, and like you said, loud noises, and I don't like being in confined spaces anymore, like grocery stores, or if I'm out and about, I'm very vigilant. I'm watching everywhere around me. I'm a concealed carry kind of person, so I do carry as well. But I find myself more paranoid, more anxiety riddled than I ever have been. So I actually don't really even leave the house besides going to appointments anymore.
Okay. So you missed a great opportunity there about the cooking, cleaning, laundry, and paying bills. What I need you to do this time is I'm going to ask you the same question, but I need you to dig deep on this one. I need you to go ahead and go into each particular category and explain to me in each category specifically why you can't do them. Good sir, do you have any difficulty with cooking, cleaning, laundry, or paying bills?
Yeah, when it comes to cooking, whenever I attempt to start to make anything, I will get disoriented. I will forget the different ingredients that I need, and I'm looking around for them. I start getting anxiety and panic attacks trying to find the ingredients while I got the stove running. Next thing you know, I get flustered, and I'm sitting here trying to throw the ingredients together. Things are burning on the stove. Sometimes I'll, have my attention span to where I won't even realize how long something's been on the stove. So, I'm sitting there, trying to get ingredients while cook, and it ends up becoming a situation where either the food's burned or if I leave out of the room, I forget to even go back in there and check on whatever it was. So it caused me a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and I end up getting pretty disoriented and aggressive. And then if I'm in there too long as well, standing up, my back's killing me. Start to get very agitated with the whole situation.
All right, let's summarize that because that's all over the place. I want bullet points. Why do you have difficulty with cooking? Okay. Bullet points.
I have a short attention span. I have difficulty following any kind of recipe, and I have panic attacks, and my mood is very disoriented and all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Why do you have difficulty doing the laundry?
I have difficulty doing the laundry mostly because whenever I am walking down the stairs carrying, a load of clothes, my back is hurting. A lot of times when I get down there and I put a load in, I will go back upstairs and forget completely that I even had laundry in there. It could be sometimes hours before I'll even go back down, or sometimes even days, just to complete a few loads of laundry.
Why do you have difficulty with cleaning?
I have difficulty cleaning because it's hard for me to move around furniture, whether it's tables, chairs. I really don't have the ability to kneel down or get on my hands and knees because of my back pain. I also become distracted or disoriented while doing it. I will forget what I've cleaned already and what I haven't, and then just, pretty much I just have a panic attack with that as well.
Okay. All right. Get it clean, get it simple, because the judges only get 45 minutes to do one of these hearings, which means your testimony has to be really, really good. Now, you might have one of those attorneys that doesn't ask a lot of questions. I ask a ton of questions, which means I expect you to be trained at a certain level when you go in there. So you got to give consistent bullet points as to why you can't do certain functional tasks. Let's do the next one. Good sir, why do you have difficulty paying your bills?
I have difficulty paying my bills because I tried to have everything online so that all I do is log in and just push a button to try and pay it. But a lot of times I have so many different bills that I become forgetful of which bills I have paid and haven't paid. And it's just, it's not necessarily that I can't pay my bills. It's just that I become forgetful of which bills are even coming up and becoming due.
Okay. Help me out with this. So you've had these difficulties for how long?
I've had a lot of these diagnoses for about 8-9 years.
Okay. So why did they become bad a couple of years ago?
It was whenever I had my accident at work. I slipped and fell on a slab of concrete, and I hit the lip of it, and I also smacked my head off the ground, off the concrete as well. And through the process of rehabbing, I've had 15 injections in my back, the epidural steroid injections. I've been put on, over the course of the last few years, I've been put on over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different medications. I have lost my relationship with my fiance. I've lost my house that I was living in. I don't even get to see my kids on a regular basis right now. I only get to see them 2 times a week because of my mood disorders and the various things I'm going through. I'm in a lot of different therapies. I've gone to physical therapy. I've gone to group therapy, psychologist, psychiatrist. Everything under the sun I pretty much have tried to this point.
What was the original question that I asked you?
I'm not even sure.
Okay. So do you know what the answer should be?
To the original question that I don't know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, you got it. And that's my point here. Stay on target, because a lot of people get off target. And the problem is, yes, your brain is going to do that, especially with schizoaffective disorder and things like that. But the judges are looking for those perfect answers. And the problem is that if you go way off like that, you probably spent 2 minutes that could have been spent giving better testimony somewhere else. So let's go through this again real quick. Actually, let's scoot over to this. What symptoms, because a lot of people don't even know what symptoms they have. What symptoms do you experience from your schizoaffective disorder?
So from my schizoaffective disorder, I experience mood swings. I experience psychosis. I experience severe depression, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. I experience disorientation. Some might even say some periods of like dementia where I can't even remember people that I should remember. There's periods where I'm almost like hallucinating, like I'm in a daydream mode. I even have had my kids that are, 3 years old, tell me like, Dad, are you okay? And I will snap out of it, but I didn't even know that I was in a position to have to snap out of something.
Okay. What are the symptoms that you experience with your back issues?
My back issues leave me feeling a level 8 pain most of the day, and it goes only up from there. It never really goes down. I have trouble bending, kneeling, like getting down to play with my kids. I can't really do that for much more than maybe 30 seconds or a minute. I spend a large portion of my day sitting down, but even when I am sitting down, I'll lose sensation in my legs and my feet, toes. It'll be the pins and needles sensation. When I go to stand up, I'll have it shooting down my butt, down the back of my legs as well. I can't go and enjoy some of the activities I used to enjoy. I used to be a very active person. I used to play sports and work out all the time. Since getting these problems, I've gained a lot of weight. At one point I gained 80 pounds in a year. But yeah, my back pain is just, it's constant. It's a constant level 8. If not, it's a 9 or a 10. And it at night when I go to lay down, it's hard for me to fall asleep. My back is usually pulsating and resonating with pain, so I'm having to change positions all through the night, and I don't really get good sleep.
So you have a difficult time, I would assume, doing physical actions, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so help me out with this. Is walking an issue for you?
It is.
Do you have difficulty getting in and out of a car or anything like that?
I do.
Do you have any difficulty with walking?
Yeah, if I go on a walk, if I'm walking for more than approximately 100 feet, I start to have pain in my back that it will start to resonate, and it will cause me to have to stop. sit down somewhere, pause for about 20, 30 minutes, and then try to resume walking. But usually later in the day, when I go to lay down, I'm feeling the effects of whatever I was doing earlier in the day.
Okay. So have you been prescribed any devices to help you out with your daily activities?
I've been given some assistive devices as far as therapy. Like I was given these braces for my Achilles tendon and my feet to do more like I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like when you're almost standing on your tippy toes, but this brace kind of puts you in that position for a period of time, so it relaxes your Achilles tendon and my ankles. My ankles are where I have a lot of pain too, besides my lower back. And I also have a brace that I wear around my back that tries to stabilize my back. I don't have any kind of canes or anything like that. I mean, I'm young. A lot of times they don't really want to even discuss things like that when people are younger. So that, the thing that I've been doing is a lot of epidural injections in my back, and they're risky in itself because you can get infections and die from those. But I've had about 15 in the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What did you just admit to me?
I admitted that they don't want to give me any kind of like canes or crutches.
Okay. And what came before that? Something about being young.
They don't want to really do a whole lot of assistive devices for young people. They'd rather give you like therapy.
But when you phrased it, how did you phrase it?
I'm not even sure exactly. That's one thing about me. I talk a lot and I don't really recall what I'm even saying. It's almost like a form of psychosis. I talk a lot and I don't recall a lot of what I said.
Okay. You're talking about, well, you're still young, yeah. And the doctors, they don't really want to, they don't even want to talk about a prescription for things like canes and crutches. So what did you admit to me there?
That they're not, maybe that the doctors aren't taking it as serious as I know it to be.
Well, maybe you aren't taking it as seriously as you need to be because you are basically pushing the agenda that if you really needed them, you'd go get them, but you don't really need them because you're young, and they're not going to give them to you anyways because you're young. So bottom line is you don't really need them right now.
I wouldn't say that I'm not trying to take it serious. I'm doing everything that they ask of me, but they've never asked for me to have, crutches or a cane or, any of those kind of things, wheelchairs, stuff like that.
If you got a difficulty where you can only walk 100 feet and then you're having a really hard time, I mean, can you just keep taking a break and walking 100 feet over an 8-hour day?
Well, no. I mean, you really have to understand that I can walk further than that, but if I do, I'm impairing myself at that point. Like I can walk as far as needed, but if I do, the degradation I'm gonna do to my body by walking that further distance is gonna probably take days or even weeks to recover from.
What would have been a better answer? Explaining why you should have ambulatory devices to help you, explaining that you would be in pain for a significant period thereafter, or explaining a story about how you're young and therefore you don't think they'd give you a cane?
Probably explaining that I do need assistive devices to help me.
Good, sir. Why don't you have a cane, crutch, walker, or wheelchair prescribed to you at this point?
I really don't know how to answer that. It just has not been addressed in any kind of medical conversation with any doctors that I've had.
So you haven't asked them for one, essentially, correct?
Correct.
And you haven't needed one, correct?
I wouldn't say I haven't needed one, but I'm I'm a proud person. I mean, I'm not somebody who's going to walk into a place and ask for something that I see 60 and 70-year-old people using if I'm not 60 or 70. I mean, even if I had my legs blown off, I would, be one of those guys who, doesn't really ask for, more than maybe the prosthetic legs, but I wouldn't, sit there and ask for anything more than I need to. I don't know how to phrase it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's drilled into you in the military not to complain about things, not to go to medical, not to, just go and cry a river. But then when you go through SSDI process, whatever you don't say gets used against you. So it just becomes it's a battle of what you were trained not to do, and then what they're telling you have to do, or else you're not going to get the benefit.
Okay. So you've just stated to me that you're a proud person who's not going to utilize medical treatment to get yourself to the place where you need to be to potentially be better, to potentially work. Is that correct?
Well, I wouldn't even go to that length. I'm not really focusing mainly on my physical conditions as much as I am on my mental conditions.
So now we're not shining a lot of light on the physical conditions because we're hoping that the mental conditions in themselves will get us through.
Well, I know that my mental conditions are much more severe than my physical conditions are.
All right, you notice how you're starting to feel trapped, cornered, things like that? Take a deep breath, relax. We're going to reset. Take a deep breath. Go ahead, take a deep breath. When that happens,
can I make one comment though?
Yeah, dig yourself out. Go ahead.
Yeah, because this is probably going to be a lot of people. I watch a lot of your videos. Like I literally watched 10 of them before I called like 20 times to get in through to you. Yeah. One thing that I will say is there is a level where people who call in and people who go through SSDI, we're not lawyers, we're not ALJs, so we don't really even understand our conditions to the fullest to try and explain it. And we do try to utilize resources to try and better understand it. But at the point that we're actually trying to explain it, our minds are like a tornado and we're trying to capture these little tidbits of thoughts. And a lot of times the most important things escape us at that moment that we're trying to describe it. When I sit back throughout the day and I'm crying and I'm going through so much pain and I can't play with my kids and I can't do the things I want to do, I understand my conditions a lot better then. But when I'm on the spot trying to explain it, it's like I have a flood of, like I have a rock in my throat right now. I have a feeling of pressure on my chest right now. It's almost like I'm going through a mini panic attack. And I think most people, 90% of people, go through the similar thing when they're trying to explain themselves in a nutshell, because our life is not a nutshell to us. It's a daily 24-hour occurrence. It's a grind that we're going through. I'm biting my teeth. I'm gritting out the day and through the pain, but to try and explain it to someone, it's like it would almost sound like I'm complaining about every facet of everything, but there are moments that I'm able to maybe walk 200 or 300 feet, but then there's moments where I can't even walk 50 feet, but it's hard to do. That's what I kind of wanted to say.
That's excellent, because a lot of people, specifically VA people, have that same background. They were a Superman, things started to fall apart, and now they don't know what to do with their life, and they don't know how to explain where they're at with things. I'd like you to try something different this time. Do you have something around you that you're very accustomed to, that's very relaxing to you? It could be a picture of something, could be napkins, a tissue box, could be a lighter, could be a bottle of something. Do you have something that you're used to?
Yeah, my kids. I have tattoos of both my kids on my arms.
Okay, which was the last tattoo that you got?
My son. He's a year and a half.
Okay, can you see the tattoo right now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Can you describe for me what it is that you lost by becoming disabled?
Man, I don't want to get emotional on this phone call, man, but it's a lot, because I dealt with a hard upbringing. I was sexually assaulted as a kid. I was by friends of mine that were guys. I was bullied. I was beat up. I was abused by step parents. I was somebody who always wanted kids of my own to do the right thing by. And I joined the military at 17 years old, and I got sent to Iraq at 18 years old before I was even legally allowed to drink. I was handed a rifle and told, this is your enemy, survive. You know, went to Afghanistan, told, this is your enemy, survive. I come back, I'm dealing with things I don't know how to even put into words, and I find this person that I, you know, want to have a family with, and she gives me 2 beautiful children, but in the return, I give her all my issues that I probably gained from the military in my early childhood, and we didn't work. We tried hard. You know, we are trying to co-parent our kids, but my kids are everything to me. I wouldn't even be alive right this second, right now, if it wasn't for the birth and the life of my kids, because I kind of gave up on myself once I, you know, realized that I had these once I came to terms with the mental things that I have going on, and I know in the beginning I used to deny it. I used to try and say, you know, I'm normal like everyone else. And I would go on and I would work and I would try to do what I thought. Come home and I would just argue and nitpick over all the things in life you shouldn't nitpick over. And now when I have my kids, I feel like I'm doing more harm than good to them, because my kids should only know the good in me, and they shouldn't see my depression. They shouldn't see my anxiety. They shouldn't see my PTSD. They shouldn't see any of the negative inside me, because none of that is their doing. None of that is their fault. And I don't even like that I can't even hide it from them. I don't like that when they're around me, I fight so hard to be normal, and I can't even be normal anymore. And that's why I separated myself, and I am fighting to be back in their life, but I'm having such a hard time trying to grab control of myself enough to be normal again. You know, I carry a gun with me 24/7. I'm paranoid. I have a lot of things going on with me. I bought 20 guns in the past 4 or 5 years, and 20,000 rounds of ammo. But, you know, I don't know what is really the resolve in my head. I don't know, if it is to take my own life. I don't know if it's to drive off a cliff. I don't know, but I know that I want to keep fighting for my kids.
How will these benefits make you more normal?
These benefits would not make me more normal. These benefits would address the fact that I've worked my entire life. And maybe some people might say, he's 32. What's his whole life? I've worked since I was 11 years old, delivering papers at 5 o'clock in the morning, before school. And I don't know too many 11-year-olds that do that. I've been working nonstop, in the last, since I was, able to actually pay taxes. I've worked every year except for 1 year. And that was the year I got out of the military. I couldn't get hired by anybody, even though, I had just gotten out of the military and I was putting applications and I couldn't get hired by anybody. So, I pretty much moved back home and was able to find a job back home, and I tried to regain normalcy in my life, and I wasn't able to be normal 24/7, which is the key to life. Is you got to try to be normal around the clock, not just for a couple hours a day.
What was the first sign that you noticed that you weren't normal when you were back home?
The first sign would have been feeling irritable all the time. Like the littlest things, I was snapping on. I was going off on everybody, my friends, my family, like any little thing that would happen. If somebody put the trash bag in the trash can and didn't put the air out of the sides of it, so when you go throw one thing in there, it looks like the whole trash can's full, I'd start freaking out and snapping. And it only got worse over time. Like in the beginning, I might snap for 5 or 10 seconds and then like kind of start shutting down. But as time went on, I would start aggressively pursuing like whoever it was I was mad at. If it was my mom, my brother, my fiance, whoever it was. And it even got to the point where when my kids would do something as kids, I would start yelling at them. And then I would immediately shut down for hours or even days at a time. I pretty much wanted to die, because I was like, what is wrong with me? when I was snapping, I didn't understand. And to this day, I don't understand why I'm snapping the way I do. But once it's done and the damage is done and that person is crying or that person is like afraid of you, then I go back and I'm like, I'm a monster. What is wrong with me? I don't want to be here anymore.
What's the difference between the monster and who you used to be in the military?
I always say it like this. When I was in the military, I was at peace with myself and at war with the world. And now that I'm out of the military, I'm at peace with the world and at war with myself.
When you try to fix yourself, what's the number one thing that makes you fail?
When I try to fix myself, the number one thing that fails is consistency. I can fix 1 or 2 or 3 of my problems, but I can never fix all of them. And if I do fix, 1 or 2 or 3 things, nobody notices it because they're only going to look at the things you don't fix about yourself or the things you fail at. People don't look at the successes that people have. They look at the failures. You can have 10 years of great success and then have one thing happen to you, and then that one thing is going to overshadow the 10 years of success. I have 15, 20 different decorations from my service to this country, but nobody cares about that today. They only see, who are you today? Who are you presenting yourself as today?
What's the number one thing that you regret that you did when you came home?
The number one thing I regret that I did when I came home is put too much expectation on myself.
And who did that affect?
It affected me.
All right. There's a story in there about you and your kids. We're not going to go into it right now because I got to get another caller on. But that story about your kids should come out during the actual hearing.
I want to probably give you a call too offline just to try to tighten up some of those things. 'Cause that's why I wanted to call in. I didn't want to ramble to an ALJ who's probably going to zone out and not really care what I'm even saying. So, if I can give you a call maybe, sometime tomorrow or this weekend to try to hone in on what to say, how to be precise about it, and to get everything out. And we can go over, some details on the side if you're willing to.
So I'll be working a bit on the weekend, but give me a call. What I'll try and do is, as I'm doing physical labor stuff, we'll do stuff over the earpiece, and then we can catch up.
All right. I definitely appreciate it, and I thank you for taking my call.
Good, sir. Have a wonderful night, and I'll catch up with you over the weekend.
Thanks. You do the same.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, I've missed a bunch of phone calls. I'm going to go into the next phone call right away. Think about what happened there. Think about the statements that were made. Go through it in your head. Think about the arc of where we started off and where we ended up in the middle with the story and where we ended up at the end. Most people who come out of the military who face these types of mental impairments and physical impairments become something that they think of as a monster, and they constantly try to fight that monster. And basically, these particular things are unfortunately what keep them from beating that monster. So let me go on to the next call real quick. Okay, one seckaroo. Let me check. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to go down the line of phone calls, guys. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Would you like me to go ahead and answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? And remember to use a fake name.
Yes.
Okay, which one would you like me to do? Run a hearing questions with you, or use a or answer a specific question?
Answer a specific question.
Okay, excellent, ma'am. Go ahead. Oh, ma'am, are you there? Hello, hello? The phone's still running. Can you hear me? Let me try. Oh, that's interesting. Are you there? I guess I lost her. I'm not really sure what happened there. Let me try that again real quick. Hold on, guys. We'll get the new caller on shortly. 1 second room. EXR's expedited reinstatement, guys. I'm having a little bit of a thing going on with my phone. Let me see if I can get through real quick. I'm not sure. Hold on. Hold on, guys. There's so many people calling in right now that I actually can't use this. It's quite literally, it's stuck. It froze. Let me reboot it real quick. Hold on. There's that person right there. We're going to call that person back right now. We actually just kind of, the phone got a little overloaded there. Oh, call, excellent, receiver and speaker, and it keeps ending. That person's probably trying to call me. So yeah, with that person, go ahead and try and call me right now. The one that ends with the 3, and then we'll go ahead and get that ball rolling. And then we should be good to go. Okay, good. Excellent. We are live on YouTube right now. Remember to use a fake name. Would you like me to answer a specific question or run?
I'm going to be a specific question. My name's George.
Excellent. Good, sir. What is the question?
Okay, my wife was found disabled in December of 2020.
Okay.
And so we went to file our taxes. Last year, 2 years ago, I had to leave my job to become her caregiver. She became mentally and physically disabled due to a number of different issues. She uses a walker, but she's almost ready for a wheelchair. Her legs are very weak. But in any case, we went to go file taxes today. Last year, I took out my 401k for us to live on. I paid the house off. We've been living in the same house 20 years. I paid it off so we have a roof over our heads, one less worry, less interest to pay and all that, and get rid of all them payments. So now we just have, our electric, our water, our basic stuff. Well, anyway, we went to file taxes. My wife just signed up for insurance because her Medicare is not going to kick in for a certain period of time. So she went to the marketplace and they signed her up on something like a week or two ago, and it was like $420 a month, and we can't even afford it. We're on fixed living on her check she just started getting in January, about $1,100 a month. Just pays our bills barely, food and all that. So in any case, she called back because someone told her call on April 1st, and they're going to have a special deal because new laws were signed and all this. They can actually get you a better deal on the marketplace if you're disabled. So she called today. They got her down to like $2 a month for her insurance, just like a really good plan. Everything, like doctor visits are $1. Everything is good, all that. But they're telling her next year on her taxes she has to file as single. I'm not working, and we've been married for 24 years. And they're telling her, and we live in the same house. I'm her caregiver, but the people at the marketplace told her to file as a single person. When we went to the taxes and talked to that lady, she told us we couldn't do that. We have to file, jointly as a married couple, as we always do. And so my wife was wondering what's going to happen there. Are we going to get in any kind of trouble? And then, the money that I took out of my 401k to pay the house off, is that going to affect anything as far as her disability and all that type of thing? I know it's a lot of stuff.
I just want to point out I've worked until 2 a.m. every night all week, and last week I did 2 hours and 45 minutes of coding before I did this on the spaceconstitution.com website. So just to solidify, first thing is, if you took out 401k funds, would those be countable as income to you now? Is she on SSDI or SSI?
She is on SSDI.
All right. So I don't think it will really affect her because they're not with SSDI. They're not looking at whether or not, they're not doing a deeming for you. They're doing specifically a review to see solely if she is severely impaired and potentially can't work or meets the listing. So in that case, it's probably not going to affect her. With that said, the other question about the taxes, whether you can file jointly or if she has to file as a single individual, I have no idea what they're getting on about, because every single rule that there is about the insurance right now, the insurance field, Medicare, the marketplace, everything's changing. Everything is completely going to be different in either right now or the next month. So,
Right,
yeah. So, go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. That's fine. Yeah.
I was saying, the lady at the office was saying that too. Like, stuff was just signed, and everything's going to be changing throughout the year because it's going to take a lot of time for things to go into effect because everything's all backed up. They said they're having the IRS try to correct everything from last year and this year, and they're putting everything on them, which they never had to deal with before, I guess, until this year. So, yeah, my wife wants to talk to you. I'm calling for her. She has she has a little bit of mental problems, but she's a little bit lucid now. I think she can talk to you.
Perfect.
Hi, Walter.
Howdy, madam. How you doing?
I am so happy to talk to you. I am so happy to talk to you.
Absolutely.
I have motor neuron disease. I have cognitive impairment. I walk with a walker. I fell in November because I fell, and I broke my. I have bulging discs in my neck now. I'm wearing a neck brace. My husband does everything for me. I do not cook. I sounded kind of like that guy that was last talking to you. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, that guy sounds just like me, practically.
Yeah.
So, what do you suggest I do? Like, and then they said they were going to review my case in like 12 to 18 months, and I'm like, but hasn't it already been 12 to 18 months if they found me in October of 2019 fully favorable? Oh, well, yeah.
So
fully
here's what's your current age?
I'm 43.
Okay.
I'm gonna be 44, and I have cerebrovascular disease. He wants to know my 5 impairments, I'm sure.
Well, so here's kind of the thing though, with your conditions, and you've already mentioned a couple of them. They're going to do probably, I would say, about 5 more CDRs throughout the extent of your life. Now, they'll probably tune it back because, unfortunately, some of the things that you've mentioned are going to get worse, which unfortunately will put you from the severe category into the extreme category. Once you reach that extreme category, they usually pull back from doing any additional CDRs, which are continuing disability reviews. So what that means is that you'll probably have 1 or 2 more until basically you approach that extreme level of impairment. And then at that point, the local field office will pull back from doing them. But you can always call into the local field office and ask them when your next CDR is likely to be. Now, what you're concerned about is, what do you do to prepare for that CDR? The best thing you can do is to go ahead and use high-tech letters. That's a special type of law. That's a derivative of HIPAA's. Oh, you can always email me after this, and I'll go ahead and send you the template one I made. I made a template one, sent it to a bunch of the attorneys in Central Florida, and now that's like the one that everybody uses. But the bottom line is, I'll send that to you. Use that to send to your facilities. They'll get your medical records. They'll send it to you, and then you can go ahead and send those into the SSA. Those medical records may either cause 1 or 2 or both things. Either A, instead of doing a long form CDR, you'll be kicked down to a short form CDR, or they may do a CDR where they just don't contact you. And that's because the medical evidence that you supplied to them is enough to go ahead and for them to hand over to what's called their MCPC, which is their medical consultant. And that medical consultant could review your record and say, hey, look, she's severe. We don't need to go ahead and get further information from her at that point.
Okay, you're cutting off, Walt.
Oh, okay. So basically, email me after this. I'll send you the form to start collecting your medical records throughout the process. Keep going to the doctor. When they do the CDR, it'll either be likely a long form or a short form. For your particular impairments, it'll likely be a short form. If you can attach your medical records to that short form upon submission, the whole process should go a lot smoother, but it's always wise to continue to collect your medical records every couple of years and submit them to the SSA, because that does tend to ward off traditional CDRs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, you're a very lucky lady. You've got a great husband. Unfortunately, I'm not a tax attorney, so I can't assist you specifically with the tax question of joint or filing single. So, in that regard, you'll have to kind of consult with the tax attorney. But other than that, ma'am, do you have any additional questions for me?
just about, okay, so it's in October of 20, so, okay, when is my Medicaid supposed to kick in? They said it's going to be kicking in Medicaid of 20 of 21.
So basically, you're an SSDI, which means you've got to wait 24 months to get Medicare, and they're trying to go ahead and get rid of the 24-month rule for Medicare. So what was the actual month that you were found disabled?
December of 2020 was when he fully favored me.
Okay, and on that letter, can you tell me, what was your alleged onset date?
October of 2019.
Okay, so October 29th. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to October 2019. So we're going to count 5 months that don't count. So October doesn't count, November doesn't count, December doesn't count, January doesn't count, and February doesn't count. Now we're going to count our months. We got to count 24 months forward. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Let's pop over January, February. So that's our first 12. Now we got March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. And what we're looking at is, you have to remember at that point, you wouldn't apply a 5-month waiting rule with that. You would actually, my apologies, let me go back. I'm a little tired.
You're fine.
That was October. Yeah, so you would just go 24 months. So it would just be basically 2021 October. And that would essentially be when you'd be receiving your whatchamacallit. That would be when you'd be receiving your Medicare. And remember, the whole thing is this. When you transition over to Medicare, your current program is probably going to be allowing you to have more options for the doctors that you choose. And the Medicare options, you have options that you can usually buy into for more things. So remember, start to call Medicare ahead of time and find out, okay, if you have A and then B or D or whatever, what other options you need for your particular impairments and which particular doctors you want to go to. Start to figure that out ahead of time, because unfortunately, when you get to that point, if you're treating with the doctor that you really like, you go on Medicare and you can't utilize them, you're not going to be very happy.
Right, I understand that part. And another thing is they have not given me my back pay yet. Is that normal?
Well, when were you found disabled again? It wasn't that long ago, right?
No, it was in December.
Okay. So the bottom line is, yeah.
Okay, the judge was. I hope I don't know if I'm on TV right now. But
you're on the computer.
I'm on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the judge, I think, is retiring, and so I don't know what's going on. But he pushed my case. It was supposed to be in January, but he pushed it back, to December.
Okay. All right. So here's the bottom line. You were found disabled at the end, right at the end of 2020, correct? Okay. So what we're looking at is that was your decision date. It usually takes them a month and a week to go ahead and process the actual back pay benefits. Now, you haven't gotten them, which means you need to reach out to what's called your local field office. All right. So what county do you know where your local field office is?
Newport Richey.
Okay. Hold on. So I'll look up the phone number for you right now.
I know what the phone number is, and I call them. They think I'm a crazy person. They say it's on hold for some reason.
What is the reasoning? Did they send you a letter as to why?
No, they haven't. But I am supposed to be having a meeting with my lawyer on next Tuesday. He's supposed to call my house at 1 o'clock.
How many attorneys did you have throughout the process?
Just one.
Okay, so it's not a fee petition issue. Let me ask you this. Were there any earnings or jobs that you worked over the past 12 months?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you already do your pre-effectuation interview?
What's that?
That's the interview where they, when you're found disabled, that means you're medically, the medical side of things are met to go into the program. But that doesn't mean you're also set for your administrative, financial, etc. details. So did you have that interview thereafter with the local field office to go through whether or not you meet all the other requirements?
Well, they did ask me if I could pay my own bills, and I said yes, but I can't do anything else. Like, I can call up on the phone just like I'm calling you right now and be like, my electric is like, I push a couple buttons and my electric bill's paid. or you know, I can do that. I can pay my bills like once in a great while. But that's what I told them, and that's what they stuck to. So then they said to pay, the money is going to come into my bank and my husband's bank account.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Now, just as a heads up, you always want to get a separate bank account specifically for your benefits to be received. It gets you out of any entanglement issues. It gets you away from any potential fraud issues of having to prove if somebody steals your benefits. It's always always wise to have a second account that they go into.
Okay. I'll do that tomorrow.
Perfect. Now, did they require you to have a payee?
They asked, my pay is supposed to be my husband, but I think that's what's lost in translation.
Okay, gotcha. Do you have that approval letter from the judge with you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go to the very last page of it before they go to the exhibits?
It's in the green folder. Yes, it says in the very last page, page 4.
It should be farther back than that. It's the page that's right before the exhibit list, where you see a big list of everything.
Okay, yeah, I have it. 1 minute. Hold on a second. My husband's helping me. Okay. I'm so excited. I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah, howdy. You know.
Oh my gosh, you're like a savior.
No,
Hold on.
yeah.
Okay.
Walter, I'm gonna tell you, she actually became, well, we didn't know it for a long time, but she had a stroke in 2014. It took a long time for them to find out. She actually became disabled, where she couldn't ever go back to work again. In December of 2018, they gave her a spinal tap because they thought she had MS, which she doesn't have. But they gave her the spinal tap, it actually crippled her. And since then, like, her legs have been numb, like they did something to one of her discs or something back there. And that's actually when she became disabled, and the judge knew that. But what happened was, in lieu of her not actually having to go to a trial, he moved everything up 2 years. So he moved it up to December of 2020 instead of December of 2018.
Okay.
So he could give it to her without having a trial. So therefore, it's making her wait long. And I told her he did that, but you would have had disability. You would have had your Medicare right now in December 2020 because it's been 2 years already. But now we have to, because of what he did, and on top of that, he retired in January. So yay.
So then,
anyway, she got the.
You do have the letter, though, even though we retired, which means it may have not been properly processed to the local field office. Are you getting your forward pay right now, your month-to-month?
Yes, I got started. That started in January, and I do have that paper. It says the claimants, findings of the facts and conclusion of law, and then it says the claimant's date insured is September 30th, 2024. Whatever that means.
All right, look around. In that paragraph, it should use somewhere around there, or the paragraph above that last section. So it's either that last section or the paragraph above that last section. Did the judge include something about a payee?
Jurisdiction?
Yeah, basically at the very end of that, it should have something about a payee.
A payee.
Mm-hmm.
Something about a payee, Ed. I know there is a paper that I also have, and it says payee. It does say payee on it, and it says payee is me. Okay, cool. So, keep in mind that that's a good thing. That means you're in control of your funds. But at some point, remember, you may be required to have a payee on behalf of, the Social Security Administration. So just remember, if that does pop up, make sure that your husband has signed a document ahead of time that he's willing to go ahead and basically take on that aspect of the claim. All right? Yes, sir. I know you're busy. I thank you for taking your time. I'm tickled pink that you talked to me.
We're big fans, man. We watch you all the time.
And we love you, doggies.
Thank you. The Shadow is sleeping right next to the computer. He's doing IT tech right now on the monitors. Sweetie is sleeping on the couch. What I do is on Thursday nights, I feed them basically like meats and things like that, like heavy meats. And instead of them having their usual fancy food, because my sister ends up buying me the food because whatever food I buy for them, it's never good enough. So she ends up getting this like special vet dermatological, blah, 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 blah. And so I feed that to them, but they hate it because, who likes to eat that? And so, yeah, on Thursday nights, I give them the good stuff. And then literally they have little food babies and they fall backwards on their butt and they just lay on the couch. So, yeah, indeed, indeed.
My cat's birthday is today, so I understand. I'm a cat lover. You're a dog lover.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I actually grew up with cats. I had 2 Siamese cats, Blue Point Maximilian, and God, he was a beautiful, beautiful cat. But anyways, Madame, you have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I will catch you guys later.
Okay, and I go to your email. I go to your email, and you can help me out.
Yeah, so it's WRH at disabilityresolution.com. Again, WRH at disabilityresolution.com. Shoot me an email. Yeah, and I'll send you the form.
Okay, Walt, tell me. My brother's name's Walt. Can you tell me what that is again one more time?
I'm typing it into the little thingy in the chat session, but it's WRH at disabilityresolution.com.
Resolution.com. Okay, it's WRH at disabilityresolution.com, correct?
So it's WRH at disabilityresolution.com. Again, WRH at disabilityresolution.com.
And then you suggest I go get my own bank account, put in my private name.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
My disability check.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, I think everything's good. If I just email you this.
Excellent, excellent. Have a wonderful night, and I'll catch up with you guys later.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Go to sleep when you can.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Hi, this is... Wait a minute. Hold on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot with Disability Resolution PA. We are live right now on YouTube. I wanted to go ahead and check in with you. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Also, please remember, I can go ahead and answer a specific question, or I can run hearing questions with you. Would you like me to answer a question or run hearing questions with you? Okay, excellent. We'll do a specific question. We are on speakerphone now. Remember to use a fake name. What is the question?
My question is about the expedited reinstatement.
Okay.
I was on disability for about 10 years, was off, got off in 2016, and have found that I need to go back on. And I did file the expedited reinstatement. And I'm just in the process now, and it's very hard to find any information about it. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe you could shed some light on how actually it works. Everything is moving so slow because of COVID and the local offices. Everybody's working from home and that type of thing.
Okay. Do you want me to like?
I live in Florida.
Okay, good. Do you have a specific question about, like, do you have a direction you want me to go with it, or is it one of those things where you just want me to do like a general? Yeah.
Well, is it better to do the EXR, or would it have been better to just go and apply like fresh? I'm also over 60. And I guess that's my question. What are the chances? I really need the health insurance for continuing treatment, and so I guess my biggest question is, what are the odds? I know that it's really difficult. I know it took years and years the first time. But with the expedited, is it really expedited, or is it really difficult?
Well, you got to keep in mind, like the point of that is to go ahead and get you back onto the system without having to do a full adjudication through a traditional filing form. So is it expedited? Yes. Okay, I'm going to give you a code to look up the actual statute under the POMS well, it's not really a statute, it's just the program operations manual system. Let me know when you have a pen and paper with you, and I can give you that, and then I can kind of walk you through what it is. Oh, you there?
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, I'm ready.
Perfect. So I need you to write down DI, D as in dog, I as in igloo, and then 1305.0.001. Again, 1305.0.001. Okay?
Okay.
What that is it's the Expedited Reinstatement EXR overview, which is basically part of the program operations manual system, which is part of the POMS, which is what attorneys use, and it's part of our process of basically adjudicating these claims. I'll read to you some of the statements specifically from it. That way you can get a general understanding of the reasoning for it and what's required and not required. Requirements for EXR eligibility. A previously entitled beneficiary whose entitlement ended due to work is eligible for EXR if they meet all the following requirements. 1, is not able or becomes unable to work at the SGA level due to his or her medical condition. 2, is not able or becomes unable to perform SGA in the month of the EXR request. All right, so let me explain those two. SGA is like, you can't earn more than $1,300 a month, substantial gainful activity. And what that means is that if you're earning over $1,300 a month, that means you're not eligible for the program. But the month that you are not able to earn that $1,300 a month, then you can go ahead and file for an EXR. Element 3, stopped performing SGA within 60 months of his or her prior termination. Okay, 60 months. So 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. 5 years. Okay, 60 months. So stop performing SGA within 60 months of his or her prior termination. Element 4, has a current medical impairment that is the same as or related to, so what you had or similar to what you had, to the original impairments. Has a current medical impairment that is the same as or related to the original impairments. And element 5, and there's an and there, so remember, you got to have all of these, is under a disability based on application of the Medical Improvement Review Standards, MIRS, is under a disability based on application of the Medical Improvement Review Standards, MIRS. That's where they're looking to see if your impairment is part of the MIRS, just like when they look at the standards for the listings for an initial application. Let me read the next section. Claimants are not able to perform. Wait a minute. Are we having a whatchamacallit, an internet issue? We might be having an internet issue. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Did I lose everybody? No, you're there. Let me see if okay, is everybody still there? Yeah, okay, everybody's still there. Okay, cool. Excellent. Claimants are not able to perform SGA if in the month of their EXR request they do not work or the work is not SGA. All right, so that's a simple statement where they're just saying, look, if you earn under $1,300, you don't earn it all, then that's okay. Claimants become unable to perform SGA if in the months of their EXR request their work is SGA, but they stop performing SGA by the day they file their request. To meet the requirements of having become unable to perform SGA, they must also not perform SGA in the month following the EXR request. So you can't keep working and getting SGA, $1,300+ a month after you file this EXR request. So let me ask you, have you worked or been working up to $1,300 per month since you filed your EXR request?
No.
Okay. There's a notation in here.
I don't look good here.
Okay, this notation is just probably going to confuse people, but I'll read it either way. Closed periods do not apply to EXR entitlement, and claimants whose prior entitlement is a closed period of disability are not eligible for EXR. That's a whole thing right there. I'll go into that if somebody else really wants me to. Now, the initial reinstatement period, the IRP, is another thing you need to look at, but that is the elemental response and requirement for Title II and Title 16 EXR eligibility. Okay?
Okay.
So
I have met all of those and have been received and filled out and turned back in all the paperwork from my local field office, and I guess now I'm just in the 6 months of the 6 months provisionary time period. They do a 6 month. I guess I'm just having a little bit of anxiety as to, is it all for naught? Does it actually really happen? After the nightmare that it was before, does it actually happen, or would I have been my time better spent going through the whole long process, or am I going to be?
Well, you're still going through a process. I mean, the whole point of this is basically, you're still going to be going through the process. You know what I mean? It's just not one of those things where, to be fair, it's going to take as long. But you're still, trust me, you're still going to be going through a process.
Okay.
So yes, this was the correct strategic maneuver for you.
Okay. I guess, what, in your professional opinion, what are the chances of a NIPSAR being approved or denied?
That's a really good question. I really like it. I have no idea what the answer is because I haven't read your medical file. So I don't know. I mean, look, I can, do you want me to give you a quick analysis and see where you're at?
Sure.
Okay. All right. First thing, what was the job that you were working that you couldn't work anymore, that you had to stop working at?
I was like an administrative assistant to coordinator.
For Ford Motors. Excellent. So we've got some Ford Motor fans on here. We also have some Chevy fans, but the Ford Motor fans are more aggressive. Okay, so let me ask you this. What did you do as an administrative assistant?
Put data into a computer, that type of thing, ran reports, interacted with the public some, pretty much whatever I was asked to do.
Okay. All right. So why were you unable to do that job when it came to the month that you could no longer do it?
Well, a lot of it is chronic pain. My disability is from mental problems, chronic depression, and that type of thing. But I also have a lot of other physical issues. I have difficulty walking from car accident. I have back injury and had to have both hips replaced about 17 years ago, and that's deteriorating as well. And I also have from multiple surgeries, I have a lot of anemia problems, malabsorption. So there's just a myriad of, and they're all the same issues that I had before. And I worked really hard to, get back and get off the disability and, try to have a productive, go at it. And it's just the older I got, and I had another bout with anemia, and I just couldn't bounce back, and I can't focus. I don't deal with people. So it just got really bad. And
okay. So you're,
anyway,
yeah. All right. So, all right. Bottom line is this. Let me ask you, what is your most severe impairment?
What is my what?
What was your most severe impairment?
It would have to be the depression. It would have to be, I would say.
So the depression, was that the thing that you were originally found disabled for?
I believe so.
Okay. And can you tell me, how's the depression changed since when you first were found disabled and where you're at currently?
It from when I was where I was before, it was bad before. I worked really hard, and it did get better for a while. And it just went downhill again.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like I don't think I can fight out of it again.
Have the doctors said anything new about your depression? How have they talked about the, timeline, the changes, where you're currently at? How have they defined your depression at this point?
How do they call major depressive disorder, recurring or something like that? I would have to look at my paperwork. I'm sorry, I should have been better prepared. I honestly didn't think I would get a hold of you.
Okay, no problem. All right. Well, Madame, let's do this. Call in next week. We'll kind of catch up. I'll ask you some more in detail questions, and then we'll kind of go from there. It sounds like a decent claim. And, you were already on benefits. You tried to work. They didn't work out. We'll go through some more details next week. Do you have any additional questions for me?
No, I appreciate your videos, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Excellent.
And everything that you do for everybody.
Very good. Well, Madame, you have a wonderful, wonderful night. I will catch you next week.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, perfect, guys. So what I'm looking at right here is there are a lot of calls that I've missed. I'm going to go ahead and there literally, there's probably 30 phone calls that were missed. I don't know which one to start with. So I will click on this one, and that transcript is not available. So I was hoping that you could answer mine. Okay, here we go. Let me do this one. Here we go, guys. We're going to get another caller. I might do this as the last caller, guys, because I'm a little bit tired. I have to do about another 2 hours worth of coding and then go to USPS. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. How are you doing? Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. How are you doing? Excellent, excellent. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Also, would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and basically run hearing questions? And just remember to mute your computer.
Okay, I will do that.
Perfect. Excellent. How can I help you?
Oh, it's wonderful. Number one, thank you for taking my call. I'm terribly excited. Thank you so much. And you're quite charming as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Wow. Excellent.
Well, okay, I have a question. I'm going to be 60, and I actually been working very hard as a registered nurse, standing on my feet and whatnot. And actually, I have a pretty bad back, and I'm almost sure that it's going to be a problem where I'm going to have to collect. I'm going to try to apply for disability. Mm-hmm. Now, I've always worked, in the mainland, like in New York and Ohio, mostly in New York, and I decided to move to Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. Now, my question is that when I do apply, would my disability amount change if I become a resident of Puerto Rico?
Now, you've been working most of your life, correct?
Yes.
Past 5 years?
I was 14.
Okay. Past 5 years you were working?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure, and look, I'd have to look up the international agreement, but I'm pretty sure Puerto Rico has SSDI, no issue, no problem. But I think SSI with that particular possession of the United States is a problem, where they have a different specific program, kind of like the U.S. Virgin Islands. So you're going to be going on to SSDI benefits. They should not change. Remember, don't hold me to it, because I haven't read the international agreement in a while. But your SSDI benefits should be totally fine for you to live in that particular possession and receive those benefits. So that should be okay. If you were an SSI person, then it might be an issue. But you're not going to be a hybrid allowance. So maybe, let me ask you this. What were you averaging per year over the past 15 years from your job?
Past 15 years?
Yeah, what was like the average?
I'd say 70,000.
Okay, so you're not going to be an SSIer at all. You're not going to be a hybrid allowance with Title 16, Title 2. You're just going to be an SSDIer, which means Title 2 only. So in that particular situation, you're going to file, get onto SSDI benefits. You can be over in, the possession, Puerto Rico. And at that point, you're going to ride that until you reach full retirement age, which for you could be anywhere, 66 to 67. And then at that point, basically, you will transition over to your full retirement, and you will receive full retirement from that point going forward.
So it would not, because I know in Puerto Rico you don't pay any into your Social Security. At least the residents of Puerto Rico don't do that. Now I paid into my Social Security. So what you're saying is that wouldn't change if I become a resident in Puerto Rico as well.
Let me check real quick. Puerto Rico SSDI Title II based benefits. Let me see if I can pull up the quick. So let's see. Now they're saying Puerto Rico. Let's see. Disability instead of a program called Aid to the Aged, Blind, and Disabled to qualify, people have to make $65 or less a month, compared with the $750 monthly for SSI, $65 or less a month. In addition, the average benefit is, I haven't looked at Puerto Rico in a long time. Here's the thing. I may need to literally look up the international agreement between these two countries, because some of these quick websites don't always have it right. But buddy, I don't think you're going to want to necessarily do this, because they're showing the monthly average of benefits being significantly lower than the average for SSDI benefits in America. All right, now let's do this. Let's say SSDI is a problem. U.S. court upholds SSI Puerto Ricans in key rulings, so I'll have to see what that is. That was literally last year in April, so a year ago. So there's some new law on this for SSI. Let's see, Puerto Rico. But you're not an original resident. You would be somebody carrying over to that. So you're not.
I was looking to retire here.
Well, retire in Puerto Rico.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you're not going to want to spend, 6 months in a day here and 6 months or less than a day over there, correct?
Well, eventually, right. I don't. Right now I'm here caring for my mother. And what I've been doing is presently just doing some travel nursing, work a couple of weeks. This is what I've just been doing since October last year. And, just to be able to, balance my financial life, I guess, And my concern is if, I'm trying to apply for disability, I apply for disability in Puerto Rico as a resident. Will I get less? And will I get less from my Social Security benefits? Otherwise, I'll just, as a resident in the mainland.
I'm just reading through some of the law that's out there right now. By the way, they just changed the law. A district court, maybe it went up to circuit, I'm not sure, just said it was unconstitutional for Puerto Rico to not offer an SSI equivalent option under the Constitution of the United States. So literally a claim that I had was really tough. I ended up not being able to get the person a particular type of benefits, would now be able to get those types of benefits. But that was like back in 2014, so that was a long time ago. But now it looks like the law has changed for SSI, which is really cool. I'll have to read upon the specific case that happened with. But it looks like here, and you just want to be a resident, right? And not a...
Right.
Okay. It says your benefits may stop after 6 months if you're not living in a country with this. But they have a Social Security agreement. So I'm just trying to find specifically what's the deal with Puerto Rico and SSDI benefits. Let's see. I may, honestly, I may need to go look this up because I am rusty on a lot of the international agreement countries because I just don't get a lot of them. So whenever I have it, it's like I know it for that year, and then usually something will change, and then it'll become something else. But let me just see real quick.
I understand, but and I'm also concerned that with under the new Biden administration, things may change again.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like he's expecting to remove the 5-month waiting rule, the 24-month Medicare rule, the penalty for marriage rule. There's all these things that are supposed to happen with him, which would be amazing. I did one video on the 5-month waiting rule and a historical relevance review, and we all concluded at the end of the video that rule was literally is pretty much. I can't say it was a scam, but it was similar to a scam where they were basically taking thousands of dollars from all these people who paid into the system. It was like a little profit move that they did, and then they gave other reasons for it. So, but the bottom line here is this: it looks like you'd be able to receive it and keep them for 6 months while you were there, but then after that, you'd have to switch over to the other, being inside the United States. Let me just see if this has what I'm looking for here. Being inside the U.S. See, this doesn't define it though. Some of these websites are so poorly written. I gotta say, it's just so annoying. You have to return this country here because look, what a lot of people do, and I can't as an attorney say that you should do this, is they play the game where they have somebody in the United States that goes ahead and puts the money into a USA account, and then that USA account transfers the funds over to a different bank that basically sends it over to a different country's bank where you can pull them. That, and then they have an address in the United States and a buddy collect the mail for them. That's what people usually do to get around there. I want to live in this place, but I can't get all my benefits there. It looks like it may be an issue, but you're going to have to email me. And then at some point over the next couple of weeks, I'll have to look it up and see what's going on. I mean, you're not planning to move tomorrow, right? So...
No, well,
yeah.
I'm here. I'm here already, but I haven't established residency yet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, and I'll hold off before applying. You know what I mean? If I have to, just
keep in mind, if you are there, then we have to figure out whether or not you can apply specifically for SSDI benefits, or if you're stuck with whatever old age-based program for disability benefits that they have. So. You may be stuck applying for their system, which will probably be less money. So
right, because my mother had applied for disability, in the States, and she just, she gets her money in a direct deposit in a bank, and I'm just about to, transfer her money over, her check over to a bank here. So that has never been. I don't think it has ever been affected with anything. So
for her SSDI benefits,
right? Yeah, her Social Security disability benefits.
So her disability. Wait, how old is she?
She's 83.
So she's not on disability benefits unless she's on SSI. Is she on SSI or retirement?
She initially applied for Social Security disability benefits when she was in her 50s.
Yeah, but she's not on SSDI benefits anymore. She had to transfer to retirement once she reached full retirement age, which for her would be 65. So
that's true.
Is she on retire? It sounds like she's on retirement benefits.
Yes.
So that's not going to be affected by the usual rules like disability benefits.
Okay, so she still gets she gets her a large amount that would never decrease.
Yeah, but that's because she's on like retirement benefits. So
I see.
Like she paid in for those, like those are hers, So
then that means also with my retirement benefits, that will never change wherever I go.
Well, there are some places you can't go and still receive those benefits. I mean, you could sneak them in through a bank account, but there are some countries you could go. I mean, but you're going to be Puerto Rico, right?
Right.
Yeah. So let me see. Puerto Rico. Let me see. Let's see. No, it looks like you're just going to continue to receive them. Yeah, okay, looks okay there. So I would not gauge your situation because it's very different than her situation, because her situation is Title II benefits the same, but you're trying to get onto a different program, which are SSDI benefits as opposed to just retirement. You will transfer into retirement at some point, but don't screw up your SSDI benefits. Well, you're already down there, so you may be stuck applying for a program that they have. How long have you been down there?
I haven't even gotten my license. I haven't even established residency yet. I just been here down October 31st of last year, just trying to get a feel of everything. And I didn't want to make any kind of other moves until I had spoken to someone like yourself to figure out what I should do.
Let's do this. Shoot me an email with that question. I'll have to pull up the specific international agreement and see if there's any case law that's changed it. Remember, that might take me a couple of weeks to be able to do because, frankly, I'm about to launch one of the most important websites of humanity's life, which is Space Constitution, which is like where everybody can write in whatever law they want. And then attorneys create the future constitutions that we're going to use for like space colonies, space stations, and basically changing the rules and regulations and freedoms that we have on Earth with Earth nations. So,
all right, sounds very exciting. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I know, right? Me too. I've spent like two hours and 45 minutes just coding today. I'll spend another 2 hours tomorrow, but I will say this: it may be April, and just so you know, the trailer is probably about 2 edits away from being finished, and that took me months and months to do as well. But I am extremely happy with the way it came out. I showed it to Cheyenne, and she said it was very good. So in the very near future, you guys will probably next week get to see the final trailer before anybody else does. And then at that point, that will go ahead and go onto the website. I'll finish the coding, and it will go live,
Oh, fantastic. Oh, we have a whole bunch of older folks waiting to see that here.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that'll really help the rights of Puerto Ricans and those who are moving to Puerto Rico because, when it comes to basically freedoms and rights and benefits and laws that support the specific human being, Puerto Rico has a lot of space to grow in that regard. So this is something
Absolutely.
That's really and let's call it is. Puerto Rico is one of the most beautiful places on this planet. So
yeah, and we have a lot of implant retirees here. So yeah, that would be so beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I'm sorry. I know you had mentioned your email.
Yeah.
I'll just call in and get the email, or I didn't quite catch that email.
I'll throw it.
Mentioned earlier.
I'll throw it into the chat session, but it's really easy. It's just WRH, again, WRH at disabilityresolution.com. Again, disabilityresolution.com.
I got it. WRH at disabilityresolution.com.
Perfect. Ma'am, you have a wonderful, wonderful night, and shoot me that email. That way I can go ahead and check on that down the line.
Oh, that's marvelous. And I continue listening to you. I mean, this is fantastic. It's a great service you're doing for people. God bless you on that. You'd be, so many people are in so much need. You have a special gift. Thank you so much for taking your time and effort and answering my question. And I hope to talk to you soon then again.
Will do, ma'am. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Much success for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
She's a very, very nice lady. Very reminds me actually her vocal patterns. Sounds like a tri-stater. That New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. She actually sounds like a lot of the individuals that are in my family, specifically, aunts, grandmothers, things like that. So on my side of the family, specifically my mom's side of the family. Okay, good. So guys, here's the kicker. I'm going to go ahead and end a little bit early tonight. I know that we have some missed calls and there were a zillion missed calls. I do have to finish the coding for spaceconstitution.com. We are really, really close to having the first open source constitution website where you write in laws and then we create constitutional freedoms that we can demand from current countries, space stations, space colonies, whatever. Elon, in November of 2020, told his general counsel, I want you to create the first Mars colony-based constitution that we're going to use because our regime is going to have its own setup there. And I've been talking about this for years, and people always laughed at me. Well, now it's coming. 2024, they will have human beings on Mars, and this is going to assure them the freedoms and rights that they should have. All right, guys. Have an absolutely wonderful night. I will catch you a little bit later. For those individuals I didn't get a chance to talk with, my apologies. Please call in next week. Also, very important, we have to do the $25 thing. So if you guys would please vote for 25 to $25 who should receive the $25, I would appreciate that. I'm going to actually go code, and then I will catch up with you guys and see who is the winner of the $25. And then we'll kind of go from there and have an absolutely wonderful and happy Easter. And basically, for those of you who are having little furry doggies, I wish you all the best, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.